It's my pleasure to invite the beach handball legend who has already taken part in several of our series, including the takeovers, and who has branded himself successfully as the Handball Ninja. Ebiye, Jeremy, Udo-Udoma.
How you guys doing? Come on, how you guys doing? Come on, give me some energy, give me some energy. So we actually have some technical difficulties in the back, so it'll be a couple minutes before I get going. But since we're talking about content creation, I was wondering if you guys would be willing to be a part of my presentation. Okay, I got a yes or no? Yeah. Awesome, so this is what we're gonna do. All right, your cue is gonna be greetings from Lausanne. When you hear that, everybody's gonna say, "We are the World Games." Did everybody get that? Yes, no, maybe so? So what's your cue?
Greetings from Lausanne.
Greeting from Lausanne is what I'm gonna say. And then afterwards you will say,
We are the World Games.
Perfect. I'm gonna talk for about 10 seconds beforehand, and then I'll say greetings from Lausanne. And then you guys will all say your line. Sound good? Yes. Let's even get this on the first take. All right. Until you hear your cue, we need everybody as quiet as possible. Good? Okay. Hey, I'm Ebiye Jeremy Udo-Udoma, also known as the Handball Ninja. I'm from the United States of America. And one fun fact that you may not know about my country is that as of this day, my country is the only country to have hosted multiple editions of the World Games. Greetings from Lausanne.
We are the World Games.
I think we got it. You'll see how what you just did translates to our presentation. But to get started, I don't know if the video is going to play or if it's just my pretty face, but I am Ebiye Udo-Udoma. I am a beach handball player from the United States, and I beat myself to my own slide. So first things first, who am I? I was born in Los Angeles, California, but grew up in Portland, Oregon, the state above California. I'm a first-generation Nigerian American. Both of my parents were born in Nigeria, and I was born in the States. Before I started my international handball career, I worked in the sports commercial space as a sports model, and I was able to take all of that experience and parlay that into ultimately becoming a content creator. And I've utilized my journey as an athlete to be an ambassador for the sport of handball as well as beach sports around the world. So a little bit on my content creation story to see how that relates to me being a content creator. I actually started on social media back in 2009, so 15 years ago. A good buddy of mine from high school was viral on social media before going viral on social media was even a thing. And he taught me how to edit videos, and he shot my first couple of videos. Working in the Portland, Oregon area as a sports model, that gave me firsthand experience with understanding how professional sports-related content was created, in having conversations with producers, directors, staff, understanding what a pre-production, a production, a post-production process was all like. And in 2012, I won an online talent search for the Harlem Globetrotters. But instead of pursuing that and pursuing basketball further, with the opportunity that I had to try out for USA Team Handball, I decided to apply my sports commercial and content creation background into sharing my international athletic story. So what is Handball Ninja? It's something that Anna mentioned in her introduction to me. Handball Ninja is the running virtual diary of a multi-sport international athletic journey. I'm basically sharing my life. That's the idea behind Handball Ninja. I first received the nickname the American Ninja from Maradona Marquez, a color commentator and play-by-play announcer in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil in 2016. The following month, the International Handball Federation had a campaign called Handball Ninja, and they awarded me that moniker. I thought it was such a fitting moniker. I changed all of my socials across social media to @Handball Ninja, one of the best decisions I have ever made to this day. And Handball Ninja's likeness is now represented in 6 continents, not including Antarctica to the extent of my knowledge, all around the world. As you can see by these photos here, you have representatives from Puerto Rico, Poland, Argentina, Brazil, Nigeria, and then 2 American friends, Portugal here. And so you see the international reach of where Handball Ninja has gotten to. And as I said earlier, the premise behind sharing my journey is to empower people wherever they are in the world to self-actualize through their own journeys. And one of the hashtags that's prevalent on my social media is "We are all ninjas," as I firmly believe that there is a ninja and all of what that means to me within everybody else. 2015 was when I first found out about the International World Games Association, as my country, the United States, received the bid to host what was then the World Games 2021, turned the World Games 2022 in Birmingham, Alabama. With that, I tried out for the USA Beach Handball national team at the end of 2015, and I made the team, and I knew that in 2021, we'd get the opportunity to host a relatively major competition and to be a part of the inaugural men's beach handball national team. I figured I'd have a good foot in the door to eventually making the squad, whatever that would look like come 2021, which I ultimately got that opportunity in 2022. But as early as 2019, the International World Games team reached out to me and did a feature on me, the first of which was called Meet the Handball Ninja. The world shut down in the beginning of 2020, but that didn't stop the International World Games Association team from trying to promote me and my likeness in the build up to, again, what was then the World Games 2021 turned the World Games 2022. And in June of 2020, after producing a number of campaigns as a part of the stay at home, train at home idea that we wanted to inspire athletes and we wanted to inspire people to be active even though they were on lockdown, I was named the June 2020 World Games Athlete of the Month, one of the greatest accomplishments that I've had the honor of receiving, and I have a nice fancy little bag that I carry around everywhere just to show that I'm an adult. In August of 2020, I did an interview with Phil Doring, who I believe is in this audience, as part of their We Are the World Games interview series. I have done 2 Instagram takeovers. I believe I'm the only athlete who's done multiple IG takeovers. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong with that. And all of that was before I ultimately got to compete in Birmingham in July of 2022. One of the greatest experiences of my life. And even after the competition, I was still featured in the World Games campaigns. So looking back to Birmingham, and then I was requested to do the intro for the Beach Handball Beginner's Guide in May of this year. And then after that, when there was 500 days to Chengdu, they asked me to be a part of that presentation as well. So I've been fortunate to have a very well-versed experience with the World Games. Which brings me to what I think is the most important part for you guys to know is my philosophy as it pertains to how I create content. As an individual content creator, somebody who has had to be creative in accruing sponsorships to support their career, there are a couple of things that guide how I approach social media. The first and foremost, I refer to as the Gandhi principle, which is to broadcast the change that you want to see in the world. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with the adage, be the change you want to see in the world. My approach to social media is I want to broadcast what I want to see more of in the world, whether I'm producing that or somebody else is producing that. I try to highlight the greatness within people, including myself. Like I said, not all of my content is specifically of me. My content is around the things that I find valuable, I find impressive, I find spectacular, which sometimes includes the stuff that I do myself. I try to prioritize creation over competition when it comes to social media. Obviously, as an athlete, there's an avenue where I try to win and other people lose. Social media does not necessarily need to be that avenue. And so I try to emphasize collaborations, and you'll see a couple examples of that, where I try to look, even in the cases with some competitors, I don't create as much content with my opposition now as I once did, just because the higher up you go, the more animosity tends to accompany those relationships. But ultimately, I try to transcend barriers and connect with the world. I think the World Games has provided me a unique platform to interact with the people in this room who are from a whole host of countries, and I try not to take that for granted. I try to highlight that in my content. This idea that your number one supporter can be outside of your immediate environment is really important for me in particular, because I play a sport that in the US Olympic and Paralympic family is the least popular sport, and that is the sport of handball. And so a lot of how I've had to grow as an athlete is reaching out and connecting with people outside of my immediate environment. The surfer principle, ride the wave of life, especially when it comes to social media, time is of the essence. And so if there is a technological advancement, if there's a new song that's really popular with the kids, you want to infuse current events to the extent that you can into your content, and it's more likely to be engaging. The Van Gogh principle. Vincent van Gogh was a famous artist who posthumously became more successful than when he was alive. And when I create content, there's this idea that the content I create now may actually have more engagement at a point in the future. A couple of tangible examples of this: throwback content is very popular. 100 days after a competition, a year after a competition, 500 days after a competition, something that may have just been a moment in time can have greater value. If somebody passes away, a tribute to them, there are ways in which you can leverage this idea of preserving content that you create at one point and then sharing it at a later point and receiving a return on your investment. Ultimately, life is creation, and so all of life is a content opportunity. We had some technical difficulties at the start of this, and I turned that into a content creation opportunity that you'll see at the end of this presentation. Most of what any international athlete does is going to be interesting to somebody. It could be walking off of a bus, it could be their warm-up, it could be what they had to eat, their perspective on anything. Don't underestimate what could be considered engaging content for your athletes. If your athletes are international competitors, they are interesting to somebody. And last but not least, the meaning of life is to find your gift, and the purpose of life is to give it away. And my goal as a content creator is to die empty, quote unquote. All the creativity, all the ideas that I have, I want to be able to share with the world before I pass away. There we go. So there's going to be a video that you'll see in the background that will illustrate all of the points that I'm going to talk about. So I'll basically talk and illustrate as you see kind of an accompanying clip. First and foremost, and I actually started with this for a very particular reason, and that's game highlights. At the end of the day, we are not here in this room unless we have athletes who are competing in the sport at a world-class level. Everything else that I share is supplemental to the fact that you're ultimately here because you have constituents who are world-class athletes. And that's the part of what you need to do that should be broadcasted first and foremost. And sometimes that gets lost through social media. Sometimes people get distracted from the fact that it should be about showcasing your athletes and showcasing the sport. That initial footage was from the Ebiye Handball showcase at the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. I know you can't hear the audio, but here's some interactions with fans. It's important to always keep the social in social media in mind. Don't neglect the people. Again, first things first, you're there to compete, you're there to win, you're there to be a world-class athlete. But it is called social media, so try not to neglect the opportunities that you have to socialize and to connect with athletes, connect with those from all around the world. This footage that you see here is from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, where I've had the opportunity to compete over several years, and we actually did a school tour before an international friendly between the United States and Brazil, and a number of kids were willing to ask for highlights. In addition to game highlights, some behind the scenes, some training clips, and here's actually an example of how I spliced together some training clips with what you're about to see, which are some game highlights that are all circulated around a similar theme. And this is something that I try to do in my content. If there's something that I've done in training and something I do in a game that looks similar, it may look like engaging content for an audience. That being said, if you're going to share anything from training or a game, make sure that it's not anything that you don't mind the whole world seeing. So if you have any secrets or anything that your coach wants to save, it's maybe not best that you post that on social media. But training can be sports specific, it can be non-sport specific. I have a relatively diverse multi-sport background. Basketball was my first love before transitioning into the sport of handball, and I try to use that and that relationship to handball in my content. I know you guys can't hear this, but when I was in Paris this summer, I got to interact with a number of the athletes, and I asked them some questions on their Olympic experience, both for the first time Olympians. And this video here is from a video where I was interacting with Olympians who it was their second or more Olympics. And the question that I asked them was, what advice would you have for somebody who was here for the first time? And they gave really insightful answers, and it led to really engaging social media content. This should wrap up within a couple seconds. Sponsor associated content, particularly as you accrue sponsors over time, you want to make sure that you have content that they like so that they can continue to sponsor you. The shoes I'm wearing right now are from a company, Zero Shoes. As always, live life feet first. Necessary plug. From there, It's a Video is one of the themes that became really popular on my social media that I didn't plan. Sometimes you just got to ride a wave. And I was playing at a world championship in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And I asked for a selfie with the local opening ceremonies act. And I accidentally played the video when it was a photo, and they thought it was the funniest thing ever. And so I was like, keep that thing. And when it came out of the pandemic, it was just a thing that I kept doing with people. It's kind of a prank, but as you saw with Kevin Hart and Snoop Dogg, it's gotten me pretty far, and it's led to really engaging content. Even more so, people who have seen my content, they're doing that same concept with other people, right? So if you can start a wave, you can get something that grows globally. Campaigns, challenges. This was a campaign that I did with the European Handball Federation in 2021 called Play It Like Handball Ninja, where I would do a trick of some sort, and they would market that, and they'd try to get other people to replicate that trick for a prize. Another type of challenge, something I could do with somebody in person, my signature hand gesture is something that some people can do, but not a lot of people can do. And interacting with some of the athletes in the World Games is a challenge I pose to them. Sport crossovers. This is a huge one as far as getting yourself implemented into a new atmosphere, a new environment. This was a beach handball meets korfball crossover that we did during the pandemic. And I know the International Korfball Federation was very appreciative that they had somebody outside of their sport in the U.S. showcase their sport. Miscellaneous life happenings. This was actually from yesterday. So this content right here is less than 24 hours old, but I wanted to showcase just how time sensitive and how applicable content can be socially. I've been fortunate over the past 9 years to have really creative and artistic fans. And a lot of them have done fan art of me. And it's important that I show love to the people who show me love. This was the 2021 Best of Fan Art edit. This lady right here, Laura Tuna, she's an incredible ambidextrous artist, and I play handball ambidextrously. When she sent me that video, I did backflips in my bedroom. No exaggeration. In second to last, again, this idea of friends and fans, you always want to keep the social in social media. As an athlete, first and foremost, you're there to compete. You're there to perform at a world-class level. But don't take your fans for granted. Don't take the people who are supporting you for granted. Ultimately, professional athletes, international athletes don't exist without support. And so when you get that support, you want to show love and show appreciation, because in life, what appreciates appreciates. And that was a phrase that I heard when I was younger, and it's one that I've lived my life by. One of the things I also like to have as a personal memento is whenever I exchange jerseys or uniforms, I call them jersey swaps with opposition. And then, as I mentioned, Handball Ninja is now in 6 continents all around the world. So whenever Someone purchases a shirt or is gifted a shirt, I do request just a brief video. And that way I can show the global reach of Handball Ninja. And you also want to utilize collaborations. So this is Michaela Corimberto. She's a beach handball player from Argentina. She won a bronze medal at the World Games 2022 in Birmingham. She has over 1 million TikTok followers. And we did this collaboration while we were both competing in Brazil in 2022. She recorded this TikTok with my likeness on it. The last portion of this, these are just some memories from the World Games. I figured they'd be worth sharing. I know you can't necessarily hear what's going on, but this is a culmination of everything off the court that I've been talking about, as far as it's a video, riddles, challenges, and I put that all in one compilation that I'm fairly certain the World Games team was appreciative of, as you'll see at the very end of this in about 7.6 seconds. Again, there's content with my team, there's content with opponents, there's content with athletes from other disciplines of the World Games. The World Games were very appreciative of me creating that. And so, as I said, I wanted everybody here to be a part of the content creation process. There were a couple of people that the question I answered, I requested them earlier, and we'll see what they had to say.
Hi, my name is Sebastian Garens. I'm from Germany, and the fun fact is that Germany is the most populated country in Europe, I think.
My name is Julia Rick. I'm from Germany, but currently living in Bangkok, Thailand. And yeah, the fun fact is that there are actually amazing places to cable wakeboard.
Hi, I'm Natalie. I'm communications assistant with the IWGA. And my mom is from Guatemala. So many people don't know that the first chocolate bar is actually from Guatemala.
Hi, my name is Philip. I'm from Germany, from Berlin. And one fact that not many people might know about Germany is that the largest zoo in the world is in Berlin.
Hi, my name is Kathy from the World Games. I am German, but actually born in Spain. And what I think that many people don't know about Spain is that we have 4 official languages. We have Spanish, Español, Catalan, Euskera, and Gallego.
Hello, my name is Sandra Sanchez. I'm karateka from Spain, and Spain have the good food, good weather, good beat, good party, and good people. Yes!
My name is Phoebe, and I come from Finland. One thing that you may not know about Finland is that Santa Claus lives there.
Hi, my name is Talena Kloisler. I was born in Czech Republic, and I would like to recommend Czech Republic for its very beautiful castles.
Hi, I am Claudia Geinza. I'm from Poland, and where we have a really cool salt mine in Poland that looks like a castle.
Hi, I'm John and I'm from Spain, and today I'm going to share with you not one but 2 fun facts about Spain. The first one is that in Spain you can find in the north the smallest beach in the world, only 40 meters long. And the second fun fact is that Spain is the biggest exporter and producer of olive oil in the whole world.
Hi, my name is Anna Jakobsen. I'm from Finland, and the one thing you may not know about Finland is that Finland is the happiest country in the world according to the World Happiness Report, and 7 years in a row now.
Hey, I'm Ebiye Udo-Udoma, also known as the Handball Ninja. I'm from the United States of America. And one fun fact that you may not know about my country is that as of this day, my country is the only country to have hosted multiple editions of the World Games. Greetings from Lausanne.
We are the World Games!
And that will be content that I post later this week. I want to thank you all for listening to my presentation. It was an absolute blast for me to be able to create and share with you all.